Thanks for joining me for day 2 out of 10 days of alternative medicine education sprints. Today I'm
Oh,
hosting a very dear and talented friend. Her name is Polly.
hi.
She is an aromatherapist and she's the proud owner of a small business, Adine Natural Care. She specializes in handcrafting natural products and is very passionate about it. Polly created her business, Adine Natural Care, over 2 years ago, after years of making customized products and essential oil blends for herself and her family and her close friends. So, Polly, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm
Thank you for having me.
very honored to have you here. So, tell us about what is aromatherapy for those of us who haven't experienced with this before.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people know essential oils because it's so popular these days, right? So aromatherapy is basically just how it sounds, aroma smell therapy. So the basics of it is actually the molecules of the essential oils that you smell go up in your nose and straight to your brain, usually into the hypothalamus. That is the part that's actually balancing you. So it keeps your temperature balance, it keeps your just body balance, and all those stuff, just very basic balancing body issues. And then that affects your whole body from that. That's the smelling part. Besides that, when you use it in different ways, it can penetrate your skin because the molecules are very, very small.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually goes into your bloodstream. That's why it's also very, very important to use essential oil safety, because a lot of people don't really understand about how important it is, and that some oils can be very beneficial, but if they're used wrong or in the wrong ages, they can kind of make your system, and especially your nervous system, because it goes into your brain and bloodstream, it can make it stress. And you don't want that. That's basically the opposite of what it's supposed to be. You want to strengthen your system. You want to balance it. You want to help the natural body healing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what essential oils do when they are used in the correct form, in the correct way.
Yeah, it's very important to remember about kids because some of them are not suitable for kids. So tell us about maybe the most common one that people just carelessly use on their kids.
Apparently a lot, but the ones that I've noticed the most are peppermint and tea tree oils,
Mm-hmm.
because they're known as very good oils for, so the tea tree is known very well for its ability to be very antifungal. So
Mm-hmm.
they use it on if they have any fungal issues, and also because it deters lice. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people I've heard just put undiluted or even diluted tea tree oil right on the kids, like on the scalp or behind the ears, which is actually something you're not supposed to do. So the tea tree oil, it has few stronger components in it that are not suitable for kids under the age of 7. I usually go for not under 12,
Mm-hmm.
just because some kids, they're not, it's mostly about body weight. So a lot of kids, even at age 7, won't be, even a kid at age 12, won't be as big as you'd need to be
Mm-hmm.
able to balance it out in your system. And especially if you're using it undiluted, it can literally burn the skin. It can cause a trauma to the skin, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to do that. Peppermint is the same. I've heard quite a lot of people using peppermint because it's great against headaches. It's great for opening your breath, which is wonderful, but using on kids younger than 12 can cause the opposite. So it can actually make them cough more because it's so strong. It can burn their eyes, definitely burn the skin. It's super, super strong. And even if you use it diluted, you can feel that cool burn.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's true.
so it's kind of the same, like you won't use a muscle releasing ointment,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like dengue or something like that. When you use it, you can feel how it burns, right?
Yeah.
So imagine that about 5 times worse when you use mint undiluted.
Mm-hmm.
It can be very painful. And it's super strong, so it attacks your nervous system, especially when you're a child and your body is still learning how to deal with all these kinds of things in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that leads me to the next question. So, in these times of winter and viruses and bacteria, so is there any, or are there any specific ones that they can help us strengthen the immune system, and maybe help us with congestion?
Yeah, definitely. There's quite a few, and I do make my own blends for that. It's called the Breathe In, and there's the rub as well, so you can put it on your chest and on your upper back and your feet as well. So those kind of oils that I like to use, again, it depends on the age because I have a few different stages for different ages, right? Because some of them you can use, some you can. So the adult one, which I'm assuming most people watching us are adults, the ones you can use that are great for both strengthening your immune system and also kind of helping reduce that congestion and taking out the mucus out of your body, helping your body heal better, and opening your airway so you can actually breathe better. And it works really amazing. So some of them would be lemon, peppermint is great for that for if you're an adult. Eucalyptus, I personally don't like using the eucalyptus globulus because it's super, super, super harsh. It's strong, it's rough.
Mm-hmm.
Even as an adult, when I've tried it, it made me it made me like almost hard to breathe with it.
Oh, wow.
When it's on its own, it's very strong. But the one I use, it's Eucalyptus radiata.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same components basically, but more mellow. So it's very gentle, but it does the work really nicely.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to use that one, and it's safe for kids as well. So you can use them for kids. And then there's lavender, frankincense that everybody loves. I like to use Ravensara as well.
Mm-hmm.
And pine is amazing. Pine scotch
Mm-hmm.
is really amazing for clearing the mucus out of your body. And also thyme, because thyme red, it's made from the actual thyme that we use as a herb. So it's a great herb to eat during the winter. But it's also it's very strong, but it's great. It's kind of like everybody's using oregano oil right now.
Yeah.
So both of them, you can blend it. I wouldn't recommend using on its own because they're very strong,
Mm-hmm.
but they are amazing antibacterial and antiviral oils. So they're great for that as well if you use them as a blend, just a little bit.
Cool. Good to know. Um, that was very informative.
Yeah.
So you
I
mentioned.
just wanted to add for the kids, if you are using for babies or kids, the ones that I would recommend that are really safe to use would be lemon, which is great for basically any age. You can use pine as well for even babies or 1 year olds or toddlers or kids. And you can use lavender and frankincense as well. So
Mm-hmm.
those are the basic ones that a lot of people also have at home, and they're safe. So it's okay if you smell them. It's okay if you diffuse them. It's okay even if you dilute them and then use them on the body. That would help as well.
That's wonderful. So you mentioned the different ways we can use them. So you mentioned diffusing. My understanding is there are few ways to diffuse oils. So
Mhm.
tell me about it.
Yeah, there's actually so many ways to use essential oils. So diffusing, a lot of people, when they hear diffusing, they automatically think about using a diffuser, right? Or the hydrator machine that you can put oils in it. So those are great, but you don't need a machine to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do at home is actually super simple. I just drop like 3 or 4 drops on a tissue and put it in the room. Give it like 3, 4 good deep breaths or smell, and then you just leave it in the room, and it fills the room with the smell, and it just you breathe it in, and you don't even feel it.
Huh.
So that is the cheapest way you can do that.
Oh, I know that.
Besides that, if you wanted, that would last usually for about 1 to 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
which is totally enough because you don't need to overuse essential oils. It's totally enough for 1 hour, 2 hours. It's fine till it naturally just airs out. But another good way is using either a lava bracelet if you're going out. There's lava bead bracelets
Mm-hmm.
that you can, or even other jewelry, not only bracelets. You have so many other lava jewelry right now that you can just use few drops on that and smell it throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also do a small plate with salt, just like a kosher salt or something. And you take about 2 tablespoons of salt and you drop between 20 to 30 drops of essential oils. I usually recommend to use a blend, not just one pure essential oil because it's a bit stronger. And then you just leave it in the room. You kind of mix them up and leave it in the room. And the salt makes the oils diffuse a little bit slower.
Hmm.
So that way you can have it for a little bit longer, but it will be not as strong. Like on a tissue paper, you can really smell it because it diffuses itself pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another way you can use it is, of course, topically. So you can dilute it. Always dilute essential oils.
So what is the
Please, please, please.
best what is the best oil to dilute it with? I usually use coconut oil or olive oil. Is there other ones that are better?
Yeah, it really depends on where you're putting it on and like what part of your body. It really depends on what for as well, right? So the best oil that suits our body natural sebum is actually the almond oil.
Mm-hmm.
You can also use jojoba, which is good. But definitely olive oil, coconut oil, they're just a bit more oily. So a lot of people don't really like using them straight. But yeah, any kind of oil would work. I would just recommend to coconut oil if you use a lot of it every time on your skin can actually dry it out because it's a very oily oil, so it confuses our natural skin balance. So it's better to not use coconut oil on your skin a lot just by itself. It's great if you blend it with other oils and butters, so that works better. But yeah, any oily oil can work with essential oils for sure.
So how do you use it? Like in a little bottle, you put a little bit of almond oil and you top it up with essential oils?
Yeah, so again, really depends for what. I would recommend using, when you use essential oils, and especially if you're using them for a specific reason, and if you want to use them topically, talk to somebody like a professional like myself that actually knows how much you need for what. Because there's different reasons people use it and different amounts and different concentrations you would need to each cause, right?
Mm-hmm.
To fix it. But the basic to be the safest, I would say 1 tablespoon of carrier oil for 1, 2 drops of essential oil blend. So I recommend to take a blend. So you can do, if you make your own blend or just buy a blend, you can do a blend in a small bottle. If you have just essential oils and you want to make the blend, you can do that in a small bottle first and then drop a few drops depending on how much carrier oil have. So 1 tablespoon of carrier oil over 1 to 2 drops of essential oil blend.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the safest way. Now, again, if you have something that needs stronger treatment, you would need to adjust it. But usually you would also need a harsher oils for that. So I would recommend really talking to a professional about it.
That's a good advice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um,
Another thing, by the way, you
mhm.
can use oils in your bath.
Yes, I
I'm
put
sure
it
you know that.
over. I put it
Yeah, so
over
you can use.
Epsom salts. I put
Yeah.
some. My favorite is lavender and orange, sweet
Mhm.
orange.
Mhm. Yeah, those are
It's
perfect for
super
calming
super
down.
relaxing. Yeah. So that's yeah. It is another great way to use it.
Yeah.
So another question I had. We're talking about alternative medicine and how it can help us heal different things. Tell
Mhm.
me about a success story from one of your clients that you just recently heard.
So there's really quite a lot. And I see it every day because obviously, we use essential oils every day in our household. So I see how much it helps us with kicking out all the sickness every winter, every spring, every fall, all
Mm-hmm.
that flu season. Thank God that helps us so much. Essential oils are amazing for that. Um, One of the recent success stories I can say, I just had this recent winter actually. It was kind of rough on a lot of people and not all of kids as well. And I've had two little babies that were about, I think, less than 2 months, one of them, and then the other was around 4 or 5 months. And both of them had quite a cough, a serious cough, quite a long time as well. And then I suggested my rub to, it's their moms are my kind of my Facebook friends, let's say. And I've saw them posting about it. So I've suggested my rub, my chest rub for babies. And they said that it immediately opened up and helped them to reduce the cough
Wow.
and breathe better. You can actually hear one of them was kind enough to do a video of it, of her baby, the way he breathes before and then while after she puts it on. And you can really, really hear the difference because it helps you release that mucusy,
Mm.
the mucus from your airways. So you can really hear how he breathes better and how much better he slept without coughing all the time.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, for both of them, it worked really well, and you know what? I haven't had any complaints. So usually people say it works amazing for everything. So yeah,
So, and
I'm very lucky to have this knowledge. I love it.
yeah, especially with young babies, there's not much,
Mhm.
the doctor, the family doctor can do to help, and
Yeah,
the
really
saline
not much.
solution in their nose is just horrible. They hate it. And it's good to know that there are other ways, right?
Yeah, and the important thing is that it's actually safe because some people buy it. There's a few other rubs that are unnatural, and they use stuff like the peppermint in them and
Mm-hmm.
eucalyptus globulus, which is not allowed for babies. I don't know how it's allowed to sell for any age, but it's definitely not good, and it can definitely make it worse.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, what I really, really recommend before purchasing things like that, look at the ingredients, search it up. If you're not sure, talk to somebody professional, especially when it comes to your kids and especially even more for babies under age of 1 year because they're so, so fragile. Their bodies are super, super new, right? They don't know how to deal with things yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so important to keep that safety to not make things worse.
That's good advice. So, tell me, how can I order this rub from you and your other products? And tell me about some really cool stuff that you do, some of your other products.
For sure. So I make a lot of different skin and hair care. So there's basically anything for anyone because I have a few different lines. I have women's line, men's line, kids and babies line, and there's just customizing to anything because I make it myself, right? So if you need anything specific, if you needed a like for acne or something a little bit stronger, I can always customize it for you. And then, of course, the essential oil blends. So I can show you, actually brought the breathe in. So there's the breathe in baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the breathing adult. And I have a few other ones that are for calming and relaxation and energizing. And even one for students that helps with memory and brain fog issues.
I need that.
So yeah, everybody does. Yeah, it's really amazing. So a good way to contact me is through my Facebook page or my Instagram. I'm still working on my website just because I'm a little bit perfectionist. It takes me a little bit longer, but I'm working on it. And I kind of like that people can message me and I can help them pick the right products, because there's a lot of questions that need to be asked when you're purchasing a product
Yeah.
to make it actually right for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I want every product to be exactly right for everybody who purchased from me. So I like to be in contact with my customers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the best way is just on my Facebook page, which is Adine Natural Care,
We'll
or
post the
Instagram.
link. We'll
Natural.
post the link in the comments after we post that video.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, I'm also doing the contact-free drop-off around here. I'm in Cambridge, Ontario. So around here, I'm doing the free delivery, no contact. And then I can always do shipment all over Canada and even the US a lot of the times, as long as the post office is working.
Hmm. Good to know. Anything
Mm-hmm.
else that you wanted to add that we haven't talked about?
Let me think. No, I think we kind of covered it all.
Okay, good. So thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure having you here, and I'll talk to you.
Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye bye.